Hello, good evening, dear students. So, today I'm thinking of discussing with you the second chapter from your textbook, that is First Light. The second chapter entitled Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Uh, Before starting, let me tell you that this has been taken from, or rather extracted from, the autobiography by Nelson Mandela himself. Okay, and the name of this autobiography is Long Walk to Freedom. Right? So, without much delay, let us start with our class. So, before starting, let us have a quick overview of Nelson Mandela, who Nelson Mandela was. Nelson Rohilala Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary, political leader, and philanthropist who served as President of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was South Africa's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic elections. He was born on 18th July 1918 in a place called Vezo in South Africa. He died in the year 2013 on 5th of December, Horton Estate, Johannesburg, South Africa. His wife, Gracia Machel, and Winnie Madikizela Mandela. He had to marry twice. His second marriage took place, of course, after the death of the first wife. Nelson Mandela had won several distinguished prizes, awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize, the Bharat Ratna, Nishan-e-Pakistan, President Medal of Freedom, and lots more. Besides being an efficient diplomat, Mandela was also a wonderful writer. He has written several books, most of which emphasize on his political agenda, political motive, his way of his conception of the political world, how nations work, or what kind of a governing body a nation expects. He talks about the rights of humanity, especially in concern with his black brothers. Some of his books include Long Walk to Freedom, Conversations with Myself, The Prison Letters of Nelson Mandela, and so on. Now, these prison letters are actual letters which Nelson Mandela wrote to his close ones, to his wife, to his daughter, and to his friends with whom he actually discussed political matters. And these letters were written during his days of imprisonment. Okay, so let us start with our lesson. This is in brief about Mandela. I suppose you have got a brief idea of the main points or main features about this political leader. The picture here, it shows Union buildings at Pretoria. The second picture below, you can see it's the day of the inauguration, the establishment of the first non-racial government in South Africa, a landmark, a historical achievement. May 10, the date is May 10, and this is the day when the President Mandela, he addresses the nation and the world. And you would be surprised to hear that this speech, this inauguration ceremony, was being telecast globally across the globe, over millions of viewers. So let's start it. 10th day dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. So, as the lesson starts, we have a direct introduction to the situation, to the day. The day is a very, very special one. Why? Because it is 10th of May, and it's a very bright, clear, and a sunny day. And here Mandela, he records how for the past a few weeks, he had been pleasantly besieged. That means he had been surrounded by a very warm, cheerful group of people kept surrounding him throughout these few days, and these people included dignitaries, that means specially recognized, politically recognized people's personalities. Okay, so dignitaries and world leaders, leaders of leading nations of the world. These people, they have come over to congratulate Nelson Mandela of having succeeded or won the elections which were conducted on a non-racial basis. Now, he was besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. Inauguration here refers to the inauguration of the first independent, the first new non-racial government in South Africa. Before that, South Africa had faced a government that was politically biased, racially biased, and which directly emphasized on discrimination between the whites and the colored people. The colored people were not given any political space. Not only that, they were also deprived of their human rights. So, this day when a black leader emerges as the president of South Africa, it happens to be a truly special event, not only in the history of South Africa, but also in the history of global politics. As such, the huge conglomeration of people, leaders coming from every end of the world. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. So, according to Mandela, never before South African soil had tasted the welcome steps of so many great people, personages. So, indeed, it is a remarkable day. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. So there is a big sandstone amphitheatre and which was formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. The buildings are also named after that, the same name, and it is situated in Pretoria, which happens to be the happened to be the capital of South Africa. Okay, so for decades this had been the seat of white supremacy. It is almost like our Parliament House in Delhi, New Delhi. Okay, where you have, it is the leader of the state or the leader of the country, the Prime Minister, who is the leader of our country India. He happens to be seated at the highest rank. Okay, similarly here in South Africa, in Pretoria, it is the same place, the same amphitheater. What is the meaning of an amphitheater? It's a huge hall-like stage-like structure with a raised platform and a dais from where a person can address to a huge collection of audience. Okay, so this amphitheater was supposedly the ground for the inauguration of the first non-racial South African government. Okay, now, for decades, this has been the seat of white supremacy. It has been for years that the whites have dominated as the supreme power in this place. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. But look at the site, what a transformation! Mandela is talking about the tremendous change, the massive transformation that has taken place, because today it is not only the white that can be seen, collecting in this place. Rather, you have a rainbow of collection. He refers to this collection of people to be a rainbow gathering. Okay, rainbow gathering of different colors, irrespective of color, white or black. Okay, irrespective of color, everyone have come together to attend the ceremony on 10th May. On that lovely autumn day, so May, it is the beginning of autumn season. So yes, autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zenani. On the podium, Mr. Clark was first sworn in as the second deputy president then. So he was not alone. Our Nelson Mandela, he was not only being surrounded by an array of different world leaders coming from different countries, different nations of the world, irrespective of religion, caste, culture, and race or ethnicity. He was also with his daughter Zenani, the lady in red coat, frock coat. You can see her. This is Zenani. Who is Zenani? Zenani is Nelson Mandela's daughter, and here he has come to be sworn in as the first black president. Now it is not only Nelson Mandela. You can see the trio standing in the first picture. On his left side is de Klerk, and on the right side is Thabo Mbeki. Okay, now Thabo Mbeki is to be sworn in as the first deputy president, and de Klerk, he is to be sworn in as the second deputy president. So collectively there are three presidents who are going to govern the state. Nelson Mandela himself standing in the middle, and you can notice that white rose, which is a symbol of peace and liberty. Right, and in the second picture you can see Nelson Mandela waving at the massive crowd who has come to attend this ceremony. The picture below, of course, during the singing of the national anthem. Okay, and you can notice Zenani. Now on the podium, Mr. de Klerk was first sworn in as the second deputy president. This is the picture of Mr. de Klerk, the second deputy president. Okay. Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as the first deputy president. Okay, Thabo Mbeki and Nelson Mandela happened to share a very close relationship. Okay, very close relationship, and Nelson Mandela, during his days as a president, he looked up to Thabo Mbeki for most of his decisions. Okay, and towards the later part, before retiring from politics, it is actually Thabo Mbeki who was performing the function of a president. So you can see both of them sharing a very common tie, very close bonding between Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the Constitution. So it was de Klerk who was first sworn in as the second deputy president, and now Thabo Mbeki, he was sworn in as the first deputy president. Now it was Nelson Mandela, the president's turn, and he pledged. What is the meaning of pledge? That means to take a solemn oath. Okay, to solemn oath, make a promise to the nation to obey and uphold whatever there is nothing personal. The person comes next, the family comes next. What comes first in the in the sight of a president? It is the observance of the Constitution. And here the black president, the first black president, Nelson Mandela, he pledges to obey and uphold the Constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. To the assembled guest and the watching world. Who is the watching world? The audience who have collected there, and also those millions of eyes which were gazing very cautiously on their, or looking at their TV sets, observing the president making his reverend, or you can say the speech as a president. So I said, today all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory. Confer means giving. Okay, by our presence here, that means we all are present here to provide glory and hope to newborn liberty. This liberty is newborn because previously it was white dominance, white supremacy that ruled. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Now Nelson Mandela here, he's talking about the rebirth of a nation for whom everyone is equal. Humanity is the first religion here, because this nation, this society of South Africa, it has experienced years of discrimination, years of human disaster, human pain, human suffering, because you can't explain the amount of pain, the amount of exploitation that the non-whites or the black people of the country had to undergo during the white rule. They were not treated even like human beings. They were not given the respect they were born with, the liberty they were born with. They were just assumed, or they were just given a backseat, or rather treated like slaves. Okay, so it is a huge achievement today that a black president has come to be sworn in as the first black president of South Africa. And that is why this experience is so bitter that everybody expects the birth of a new nation. The quality of which lies in preserving humanity. So he says that today we must give rise to a society in which humanity will thrive. So entire world, human being can live as human being. Liberty will be preserved. Such a state, such a society should be born. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. So we who were outlaws, he's talking about himself as well as those people who had served confinement along with Nelson Mandela for having protested white supremacy, white injustice against the black. And it is a memory now, because today the same people who were being considered outlaws means criminals, people who were treated like rebels, today the same people are asked to host, or offer, be host to a world audience. So different nations have come, different dignitaries have come, and it is the same outlaws, those people who have been behind the bars, Nelson Mandela and his friends, who are actually giving a warm welcome to the world public. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So this is what Nelson Mandela says, that I here offer my thanks to whom? Not only to the global leaders, but also the people of the country, okay, the people of the country, as well as all those distinguished people, world leaders and dignitaries, and the presidents and prime ministers of different nations who have come for this special occasion to congratulate him, to congratulate the birth of a new South African nation. And he thanks them on behalf of all, because this is a special day, because it's a day of victory for justice. Justice, after all, has been achieved now. Now people have achieved justice. Why? Because all this time they had lived under severe conditions. They had lived under years of depravity and lack of human qualities, and they have been deprived of human rights. But after all, today it is a common victory. It is not only the victory of South Africa and its people, it is not only the victory of Nelson Mandela and his group, but it is the victory of humanity as such. Okay, it is the victory of, that is why he's saying it is the victory of justice, peace, and human dignity. That human dignity means the respect to live as a human being. So he takes the chance, uses the opportunity that is being given to him to thank one and all. And it makes it very clear that this government is going to be a different government, the foundation of which lies in peace, liberty, and justice and humanity. Okay, so today I would stop it here. In my next class I would continue with the rest of the section. Thank you very much.